I do love crime drama films. I do love mob boss films. You know, Robert De Niro is like the king of those films, what he does with Scorsese, with movies like Goodfellas and all that stuff. So, I was looking forward to this movie. What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is On the Brinkhead, and today I'm going to review the Alto Knights. This is a new crime drama film that's directed by Barry Levinson and stars Robert De Niro, and this movie is based on true events. Notorious New York crime bosses Frank Costello and Vito Genovese vie for control of the city streets. Once the best of friends, petty jealousy and a series of betrayals place them on a deadly collision course that reshapes organized crime forever. So we got a new crime mob drama film that stars Robert De Niro playing two characters in this movie, and when I saw the trailers for this film, I was into it because I do love crime drama films. I do love mob boss films. You know, Robert De Niro is like the king of those films, what he does with Scorsese, with movies like Goodfellas and all that stuff. So I was looking forward to this movie. The trailers actually really intrigued me. I was really curious to see how this movie goes. So I went into this movie with an open mind, and I was actually the only person in the theater seeing this movie. But unfortunately, guys, man, this is really sad to say because I was looking forward to this film, and I love Robert De Niro, but unfortunately, yeah, The Alto Knights is pretty much a very disappointing film, and I would say, to be honest with you, this film is one of the most boring films that I have seen this year. Now, there's positives with this film. Absolutely. Robert De Niro is still great. I gotta give him so much credit playing both of the crime bosses in the film. I think the chemistry is really well done in this film, and I would say throughout the most part, the makeup looks pretty good in them too. Robert De Niro basically plays two different characters in this film, and I thought he plays them very brilliantly for a film like this. And I would say absolutely the production design of this movie looks great. You definitely feel like you're in the 1950s. I thought the look of this movie looks fantastic. And there are some pretty good shootout scenes, I'm not going to lie. There is one I'm like, oh shit, okay, that is actually done very, very well. But unfortunately, those didn't save this movie enough for me because, man, what a mess this movie is. First of all, this movie suffers from an identity crisis because the opening of this film, it literally feels like a documentary. We get Robert De Niro narrating most of this movie, and we see a lot of images in this film about the real people and actors portraying the young versions of the mafias and just the events that are happening. And I thought that's very interesting. It adds a very unique take to the film, and then it gets away with that by trying to be an actual movie. So this movie has a big identity crisis, what it's trying to be, but throughout the most part, this movie was not intriguing at all because of how boring this movie is. Literally, I was on my phone throughout most of this movie. Literally, this movie is all dialogue heavy. There are some action scenes, but it's literally like 20% of the movie. Most of this movie is dialogue heavy. Now, I don't mind films that are dialogue heavy, as long as it intrigues me. Literally, this film just felt like people are just having casual conversations. There's nothing impacted, there's nothing big that's happening in this film. Yeah, it's about these two crime bosses going on with one another, but there's no impact. There's nothing that really intrigues me about this film. Like I said, throughout the most part, I was playing on my phone throughout the movie, looking at the time, looking on Instagram until something happens. And I wanted to walk out of this film. Honestly, I really wanted to walk out of this film, but I was giving it as much chance as possible because there might be some redeeming qualities, and there were a couple of redeeming qualities, I'm not going to lie. This movie is not an atrocious movie. It literally tries to be interesting, but seriously guys, this movie is literally like watching a paint dry. It's kind of like you're talking to your friends that like completely different things, and you're trying to get invested into it, but you're just not that interested, and you're trying not to show it. That's with me in this film. There's something about this film that has its demographic. I'm pretty sure there'll be at least a couple of people that will like this film. But, you know, I was the only one in the movie theater, so this movie is literally telling us something. And this is coming from a guy that loves crime drama films and mob boss films. You know, I love most of Martin Scorsese's mob boss films. I love The Godfather. There's a lot of great mob films. This film, unfortunately, it just lacks so much uninteresting elements that I felt like it would have been better if it was written better and maybe have a different director. I wouldn't say it's Robert De Niro's fault because I thought Robert De Niro does a great job in the film, but the film has to impact you. The film has to get you invested, and I just was not invested in the Alto Knights at all. So overall, guys, the Alto Knights really lets me down. I was actually looking forward to this movie, but unfortunately this movie is a snooze fest from start to finish. I would say Robert De Niro is the best part of the film. I appreciate him playing two different roles and he plays them brilliantly. I would say the production design looks great, and there are a couple of intense scenes, and there are some parts in the film where I'm like, okay, I like where this is going. I like the documentary style that's happening in the first act of the film. But this film definitely suffers from an identity crisis, and the film just doesn't have as much impact as we thought it's going to be. With a concept that is very interesting and could have been a really awesome movie, but unfortunately, this film has the wrong writers here. It's like the writers are falling asleep while writing this film, because this film will definitely make you fall asleep, that is for sure. I can see there might be some people that like this movie. Films are all about subjective, all about opinions, but to me, in other hands, The Alto Knights is definitely a movie that I'm just going to forget in a day or two. This is definitely one of the most boring films I've seen this year, and I honestly wish this film could have been better. I'm going to say for The Alto Knights, definitely skip this movie. If it wasn't for Robert De Niro and the production design of the movie, I would have gave it a big pile of shit rating, but yeah, just skip this movie. There's so many other movies that are better than this movie. Please skip this movie. Please do. So guys, that is my review for The Alto Knights. Let me know what you think of this film in the comments below. Do you like the film, hate the film, or you thought it's okay? Just let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contact with me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel notified for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day.